to the arts in exile. We have the poetry of Peg Quinn, fresh from Nebraska.
We have a film from Ella Hindley and Jonathan Mall.
We have music with Jason Russell and Donna Lynn Caskey.
On with the show.
I'm Peg Quinn, and I'm going to read a few poems from a chapbook that I wrote while I was in Nebraska last winter. And just to give you a little background information, I grew up in rural Nebraska, and the poems are about my relationship to my younger brother, and we have an older sister, Barbara, who's mentioned in a poem, and a younger sister, 2 years younger than my brother. And then at one point I mentioned the novel, The Call of the Wild, and I want to give credit to the author, which is Jack London, who published that novel. And so I shall begin. Talking to my younger brother while scrubbing mildew from his tombstone. Isn't it ironic? Autumn leaves swirling gaily through the cemetery, tossed by a blustering breeze, branches are bowing. It's been 51 years since you departed, and I'm here, scrubbing mildew from your tombstone, feeling contentment. I chuckle. Disabilities be damned. You brought abundant joy into my world, broadened my thinking, expanded my concept of compassion. Grateful you were in my life, if only for your too short visit, as I scrub, removing every residue of sorrow. What she said, he said. My anxious young mother returned with her son to the doctor, wondering why he wasn't learning to walk and talk like her daughters. Doctor reassured her, boys can be different. Months later, frustrated, mother returned with the same pressing questions, to which he replied, your son has Down syndrome. I thought he would die before you'd need to know. He only has Down syndrome. Aunt Mary, just a few years older than her nieces and nephews, was to read us a story written by Dale Evans. Dale Evans? We were fans of her TV show with Roy Rogers and sang along to their theme song. We met in Grandpa's apple orchard, my older sister Barbara and Mary sitting at the base of a tree, me on a branch above. The book was Angel Unaware, the life and death of their 2-year-old Down syndrome daughter. I was sobbing as we walked back to the house. Mom stepped out, asked what's going on. Kenny's going to die, I cried. No, he only has Down syndrome. I straightened up, sighed with relief at our good luck, now singing Dale's advice. Till we meet again, keep smiling until then.
I guess you could say guitar all my life. Been playing guitar all my life. My dad played guitar. There's always one sitting in the corner behind his rocking chair. And I was always kind of a privilege or honor to be able to sit in that rocking chair. Honor to be able to sit in that rocking chair. Pops wasn't home, because when Pops wasn't home, no one was there to keep it warm. Same with the guitar. Sitting in the corner lonely. Waiting for his master to come home. Oh, that didn't sound right, master. It's more of a partnership. There's a little Jason banging on the guitar. Trying to get a rouse out of mom. No one ever found it annoying. Let the kid play. Something might come of it. I didn't introduce my partner. This is Ethel. She's been good to me. She's been good to me. At first I was intimidated. Pick her up, throw her back down, throw her back down again. And eventually, I got brave enough to get past some of her flaws. Through the years, I fixed her up. Gave her new parts. She no longer got stubborn with me. Stayed in tune. Gave me some sweet notes when I need them best. Most.
Dear Kenny, when you were 2, I'd watch you crawl to a piece of furniture, pull yourself to standing, look around, knowing the first person to see you would come, offer 2 fingers, which you would hold above your head in order to walk. I was 8 then, and thought you could probably walk without help, so waited one day by the clothesline with 2 smooth, round clothespins hidden in my pocket, and watched while you sat in the grass playing with toy trucks. When you crawled to a lawn chair and stood up, you turned your back, held your hand up as I approached. I put a round clothespin in each of your hands, and you toddled off. When you'd walked far enough to realize I was standing by the chair, you looked at your hands and collapsed to the ground, laughing. Now you walked independently, teaching me to love teaching. Thank you. Love, your bossy big sister. Red tricycle ride. Summer, and you were sitting on your tricycle, red-faced and teary, watching our 2-year-old sister whizzing by, round and around the driveway on her new blue trike. I walked over and asked you to try. Your feet slipped sideways off the pedals. I ran inside, grabbed 2 tea towels, tied your feet to the pedals, and gently nudged your shoulders. You slowly pushed your legs and began to circle the driveway, faster, faster. After 2 laps, you stopped, gave me a smile that meant untie the knots. Dad. Mom said my sister Barbara was smartest, having memorized at 10 the first 4 pages of The Call of the Wild, which she'd recite at night while we dried dishes. Though 2 years younger, I was taller, which made me worry for Barbara. When we had a disagreement, Dad forced on us rolled-up newspaper with orders to slug it out. Whoever cried first was beaten with his belt. My height gave me an advantage. One night he told me to take out the trash located behind the garage. Back there in the dark, I realized the porch light had gone off. I ran back to get in, but the door was locked. I was 6 years old, playing in my bathtub. When the door burst open, Dad loomed over, clutching his favorite tool of torment. I froze in fear. He grabbed my arm, pulled me out of the water, and beat me with his belt. "Too many bubbles," he sneered as he left. Shaken and confused, I grew calm, inspecting welts inflaming my torso, growing numb to his torture addiction, knowing I'd done nothing wrong.
I tried to follow all the rules, afraid that God is cruel. Years and years of books and school, I still feel like a fool. Still feel like a fool. Oh, I know that nothing lasts, but I keep getting attached. And the changes come so fast, fade into the past, fade into the past. I will love my life, I will love my life, as it passes by, as it passes by. I will love my life, I will love my life. I've been tempted to meet with a drunken, useless cheat. Bliss and endless misery, but oh, he sings so sweet. Oh, he sings so sweet. When the veil is thin, spirits mingle, foes are friends. We won't speak of this again. Embrace who we condemn. Embrace who we condemn. I will love my life, I will love my life, as it passes by, as it passes by. I will love my life, I will love my life. Don't let me go into the twilight, knowing all was well in hindsight, even if it doesn't feel right, even if it's not how I like. I will love my life. When we say goodbye at our time to die, is it worth the sacrifice? We pay the highest price, pay the highest price. I will love my life, I will love my life, as it passes by, as it passes by. I will love my life, I will love my life, I will love my life.
Portrait of my hero. I keep a snapshot of Grandpa on a cluttered shelf above my desk, to remind me how he would enter family events, focus on finding my brother, the obvious favorite of his 21 grandchildren, to bounce him on his knee, drop his hat on Kenny's head. They'd laugh into each other's eyes. They'd sing. Jehovah's Witnesses came knocking. I invited them in out of the cold, only to be told they were selling Bibles, launching a reminder of my sad observations as a child. How the Christian congregation, numb to teaching from the pulpit, ignored or stared in silence at my handicapped brother, who I adored. As a child, I was required to memorize a Bible verse every week. I know full well contents of the book they were hoping to sell. I watched my parents bow their heads, close their eyes, fold their fists while the preacher prayed. But what were they really thinking? Every Sunday I grew uneasy, a squirming witness to hypocrisy before I knew the word. He's missing. I was 13, Kenny 7, when he went missing. I searched the culvert, drainage ditches, apple trees, anywhere he could possibly be, then started to panic. I went inside. Mom was shaking. He's been found. A neighbor girl, Kenny's age, had tied and bound his hands and feet in a nearby field. Blood red from the heat. Every time he tried to stand, she'd push him down. When she saw our mom, she ran. I took off down our gravel road in a clarion call to make her pay, then saw her in the distance, running toward me. With one hand, I grabbed her throat, lifted her off the ground, and hissed, "You touch him again and I'll kill you." Seeing her cheeks flush red, eyes bulging in her head, I grew nervous, dropped her in the middle of the road, a worthless rag of broken hope, and walked away, pumping my fist to any gods still watching. Before Public Law 94-142. In 1975, Congress passed a law giving children with disabilities the right to free public education. Before then, parents organized, hired, and funded rental of a building, utilities, insurance, janitor, school bus, teachers, bus drivers, and teaching materials. Kenny's tuition cost half my dad's salary. Our parents donated time serving on committees and fundraisers to keep the system functioning. We lived outside the city, so Kenny was dropped off at our grandparents' newly moved off the farm into town. I got my driver's license at 16, chauffeur to my siblings' needs, hanging out, having tea with Grandma, waiting for his slow but timely big yellow bus to drop him off, witness again to his charming grin.
There she is, staying in tune for me. Okay. Yeah, we're going to do another song. Oh, thank you.
Quoting Kenny in 3 parts. Kenny didn't talk often, but once, when businesses in Nebraska began opening on Sundays, we went out for lunch after church. Sitting in a booth, enjoying this rare treat, a couple seated across the aisle seemed obsessed with Kenny, staring, whispering, never having a normal conversation. It was getting awkward when Kenny said, "It's not nice to stare." We gathered our coats and left. 2. He was 12 when we moved to the city. High functioning, he made friends with a neighbor his age, and they'd ride bikes around the neighborhood. One afternoon, I noticed them sitting on our front steps looking stressed. I stepped out to ask if they were okay. His friend David replied, "Some boys are making fun of Kenny. They say he's retarded." Kenny added, "I'm not retarded. David's brother retarded." I was speechless until a few weeks later, when asked to watch David's brother. Their mom had an emergency. The brother was 6 years old, diapered, deaf, blind, couldn't walk or talk, holding on to the bars of a playpen in the center of the living room. Now I understood. 3. When Kenny was hospitalized, I'd visit every afternoon after classes. Someone left an accordion-style folded copy of the song, "Tell Me the Stories of Jesus." During every visit, Kenny would ask, "Sing the Jesus song?" I still have the little folded memento on my desk and would sing it now if you were here and asked. December. I was a college freshman living at home, prepping for finals. Barbara and Mom in a flurry planning her January wedding. I passed through the living room, glancing at Mom helping Kenny take off his snow boots, slowly rubbing her finger over bruises where rubber boots had slapped his calves. His pediatrician was called and soon arrived, admitting Kenny to the hospital that night, diagnosed with leukemia. He died 10 days later. I assumed the wedding would be canceled, but the groom's friends and family from western Nebraska had made motel reservations too late to be canceled. In the wedding photos, I stare, distraught and lonely, holding pale, indifferent bouquet of flowers. Every day after class, I laid next to Kenny's grave. Neither rain, nor hail, nor sleet, nor snow mattered. I couldn't conceive of the fact that my brother, around whom I'd organized my life, was gone forever. Who was I? May. I lay by his grave, the earth now warm, green leaves celebrating trees, a bird slowly soared, and I thought of lines from a poem printed in Kenny's funeral program. Do not stand at my grave and weep. I am not there. I do not sleep. I realized Kenny would live forever in smiles that express so much meaning, and how, without trying, he taught invaluable lessons on living. Thank you.
We hope you enjoyed the show.